Kyrie Irving, but it's a play he's made his entire life. The ability to score and flat out get it done on the offensive end. Irving now.
Hey guys, Emmanuel here, and Kyrie Irving just spilled his whole heart out for the world to see. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, recently Kyrie Irving was on a podcast called I Am Athlete. It's on here on YouTube. You can go check it out. And on that podcast, he had a lot to say about himself and LeBron James and his career. So I'm going to break down what he said for you guys, and I'm going to jump into my thoughts and give you what I think of it. So in a conversation with former NFL stars Brandon Marshall, LaShawn McCoy, and Adam Packman, Kyrie Irving opened up about his relationship with LeBron James. First things first, Kyrie said that it took a while for him and LeBron to finally click. And this is something that's true. And he said that they finally clicked the year that they won the championship, that they were clicking on all cylinders and everybody was on the right page. And that's definitely true. It takes a very special team and a special bond to come down from 3-1. But also he went on to confirm something that a lot of NBA fans have speculated ever since LeBron has been in the NBA, which is that LeBron is somewhat of a puppet shadow manager. He said that LeBron was calling the shots in terms of putting together rosters and building teams. And he was doing all of this from behind the scenes. Something that we've speculated and something that I've known from my gut that LeBron has been the shadow manager. Why? Because LeBron's just that important. LeBron's that good. And when you're that good, you have a lot of power, right? When every single GM in the league wants you, you have leverage. So it's not a bombshell for me, but to hear it come from someone who played with LeBron, who was there on a daily basis from day to day, it gives me closure. I knew it, right? But that shadowy, behind the scenes play that LeBron was doing inspired Kyrie Irving in a lot of ways, right? Steve Bulpett, a writer for an online publication called Heavy, wrote on May 13th that Kyrie Irving, when he was going to the Brooklyn Nets, when he signed with the Brooklyn Nets in 2019, he wanted that same type of control, that pull. You see, like he wanted a say in decision making when it came to the roster. Apparently, according to Steve Bulpett, Kyrie Irving went to the Brooklyn Nets and he said, listen, I'll come and I'll bring Kevin Durant with me. In return, I get a say in who comes onto the roster. You have to take my input into it. And again, this is kind of something we speculated before Kyrie went to Brooklyn. Remember, during the All-Star game, the year prior to Kyrie joining forces with Kevin Durant to go to Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant were buddy-buddy. They were talking in a tunnel at the All-Star game, and people were speculating they were up to something. And Kyrie denied it and said that the media was making up things. Now, years later, we're coming to find out it was kind of true. But back to Kyrie's days in Cleveland. Kyrie opened up about his decision to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers and how that ultimately panned out for him and his career. Basically, he admitted that had he stayed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, had he stayed with LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and including himself, will probably have more rings than he has right now. And that's very true. We all know this. But to hear it come from the horse's mouth is different. And we all know how that played out. Kyrie ultimately requested a trade to be traded away from the Cleveland Cavaliers to the Boston Celtics. And at the time, it was very bizarre. Remember, it wasn't an off-season trade. This trade came late in the season. This trade came after the All-Star game in 2018. Right? So it was about March or late February where Kyrie abruptly just wanted to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers. And people were speculating what is going on. And people were speculating there were things going on behind closed doors. And Kyrie opens up about exactly what was going on behind closed doors and what led him to make that decision. And Kyrie points to his immaturity at 24 and his emotions as the reason to why he decided he wanted to leave LeBron and leave Cleveland. And he said, quote, if I was in the same maturity line and understanding of who I am and I look back, we definitely win more championships. He goes on to say, because there would have been a better man-to-man understanding about what I was going through. And this is something that comes up multiple times in this interview, if you want to call it, Kyrie and mental health, and Kyrie what he was going through. But he continues and says, I didn't know how to share my emotions. I didn't know how to do that. So instead of sharing, I isolated myself. So his frustrations and his emotions and LeBron having basically all of the control and all of the power in the organization is what drove him out of Cleveland. And I can appreciate the honesty. Later on in the show, Kyrie also admits that him and LeBron weren't talking very much during that time, as you could imagine, right? There was a lot of turmoil going on. He had another quote, and it said, when I look back on what I was going through at the time, I wish I'd shared my emotion. I wish I'd share more because it would have been a good understanding of what the future will hold for the both of us, him and LeBron. How much power we had together. And that's something we all know. Kyrie and LeBron were one of the best duos we've ever seen, right? They each scored 41 points in finals game. One of the best duos that we've ever seen. We'll likely never see another duo like they are. Very talented, very skilled guys. But also on this interview, Kyrie reflected on his decision, and he said sometimes he regretted what he did. He said sometimes he caught himself thinking, wow, I just left one of the best players of all time. And you can imagine how you would feel thinking that, right? Because he felt that he had to go trek his own path. He felt he was always stuck in the Robin role, right? He felt he had to go be his own man. And I'm going to bring Kobe into this for a second, right? Kobe Bryant was Kyrie's mentor. Kobe mentored a lot of the guys that are in the league today. Kobe mentored Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, DeMar DeRozan. The list goes on and on. That's the legacy of Kobe Bryant. And we know Kobe Bryant to be an alpha in the room, a go-getter, a hard-willed person, right? It's what made him great. I mean, even in a room with a dominant figure like Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe still butted heads with him to be the number one guy, to be the most dominant guy. So that's Kobe. That's what Kobe exudes. And if you can imagine, if Kobe's mentoring these guys, of course he's trying to instill in them that wolf, that alpha, that lion spirit in you. To go get it, right? And you can see a lot of that in Devin Booker. You can see a lot of that in Kawhi Leonard. You can see that in these guys. And I imagine he instilled that in Kyrie Irving as well. At that time, Kyrie was talking to Kobe a lot. They were seen in the gym a lot of the times, right? Kyrie seeing that LeBron was always going to be the Batman and he was always going to be the Robin. And seeing how Kobe was in a similar situation in which people used to view Shaquille O'Neal as the Batman and Kobe as the Robin, and seeing how Kobe got out of it, Kyrie decided he had to leave LeBron one way or another. Either LeBron was going to leave or he was going to leave, and LeBron wasn't going to leave, even so he had to leave. So I imagine that played a big part of why he went to Boston. This whole interview confirmed for me a lot of things I already knew. That Kyrie was stupid, brash, and emotional, and made a terrible decision when he left LeBron James. Ever since Kyrie left LeBron James, his career has never been the same. And he even admits it in this interview. He says he had one of his best seasons ever in 2016. He says he was third team All-NBA, right? His numbers were up. He admits it in that interview. I recommend you guys go watch it. We know that LeBron elevated him because that's what LeBron does. He elevates you as a player, right? And we knew that Kyrie leaving LeBron was never going to work out. And it never worked out. Kyrie didn't know what he had in front of him in LeBron James. And it took a lot for him to realize it. It took him failing in Brooklyn being the leader, right? Because when he went to Brooklyn, he wanted to be the leader. That Brooklyn team was still young. They're not the same Brooklyn team that we know today. They were still young. There wasn't really a de facto leader. Kyrie was the veteran, the guy that had won a championship. He was going to be the leader. He failed miserably, right? He goes to Brooklyn, right? And he tries to exercise some of the same tactics that LeBron did behind closed doors in making his own team and putting together teams. He brings Kevin Durant with him to Brooklyn, right? The roster that he had a hand in putting together just got swept in the first round of the playoffs this year. So he fell flat and failed miserably at that too. And that is making Kyrie Irving view LeBron in a different light. Kyrie Irving is coming to the realization that Kevin Durant is a great player, but Kevin Durant is no LeBron James. No. LeBron James is a once-in-a-lifetime type of talent, a generational talent, and he transcends great. LeBron is not only a physical specimen. When you look at his body, LeBron's gifted with basketball IQ that most people don't even realize. LeBron's gifted with things you can't teach in basketball. LeBron's gifted with leadership. You can't teach leadership. And with the playoff sweep that the Brooklyn Nets just suffered against the Boston Celtics, we are learning Kevin Durant doesn't have that leadership in him. He doesn't lead people. It's the same thing with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, he's a good basketball player. He's not a leader. How can you be a leader if you never talk? And so Kyrie's starting to realize this, and he's starting to view LeBron in a different light. He's starting to realize that LeBron's leadership is something he benefited a lot from. It wasn't easy. LeBron just made it look easy, right? LeBron was the leader and did things that he had to do so Kyrie could just ball out. In a way, I am very proud of Kyrie Irving because it takes maturity and growth to realize that you were wrong and you made mistakes, to look back on yourself and admit that. And that's what Kyrie's doing here, because Kyrie for the longest has always irked me the wrong way. He's always rubbed me the wrong way. Why? Because he's been such a diva for the last few years. Growing up, before James Harden, Kyrie Irving was my favorite player. But Kyrie just started becoming a cancer for any team that he was on. He was a diva. He was the Kanye West of the NBA, and that just turned me off. I want a player, a guy that just comes in, puts his head down, works hard, and produces number, doesn't take credit for it when his team wins, gives the credit to his teammates, takes the blame when his team loses. That is a guy that I love. Granted, James Harden doesn't have a lot of those traits, but still, that's what I wanted. And seeing Kyrie Irving take accountability, I like this change in Kyrie Irving. We'll see how Kyrie's career pans out. He will be a restricted free agent this summer if he chooses not to exercise his option with the Brooklyn Nets, and we'll see where he goes. We got robbed of Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, and we only got to see a glimpse of that. But guys, thank you guys for tuning in. If you watched all the way to the end, I'm thankful for that and appreciate you. If you like these kind of videos where I make quick basketball analytic fun videos, then this is the channel for you. This is Leak. My name's been Emmanuel Camia, and make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of Kyrie Irving? Do you like him? Do you love him? Do you hate him? Leave it all down in the comments below, and click here to watch why Giannis Antetokounmpo, in my opinion, is still the best player in the world. And aside from that, see you next time, kids.